It's okay to just be okay at skating. You are good enough to have fun skating no matter what level you're at. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm at my curb spot again and actually bought some liquid, not liquid, yeah, liquid, I guess, lacquer today instead of spray lacquer. So I'm going to be applying that. We're going to let it dry for about 30 minutes and then we're going to start skating. But I'm really trying to make a concerted effort, a commitment to learning to skate curbs better. When I watch, especially for us kind of adult skaters, us a little bit older skaters, when I see dudes in their like 40s, 50s, whatever age, just ripping it on a curb, like I think that's so cool. Not that I'm there yet, but I'm getting there, you know, mid 30s. Also, I forgot a paintbrush, so I'm applying this with some cardboard. I think there's like two kind of styles of skating that older people typically gravitate towards. One being curb skating, and the other being kind of like mini ramp type stuff. I should probably have gloves and a mask on to do this, but I didn't come prepared. I don't really get on with transition, and it just doesn't, like, it's not the type of skating I enjoy. This is actually working out really well with this piece of cardboard. So last time I put on a little bit of spray lacquer and a little bit of wax, and it just wasn't good enough. I've never actually properly prepped a curb, so this is a first for me. So if I'm doing a terrible job, I am so sorry. I'm regretting not having a brush for the sides here. Let it dry for about 30 minutes or so, put some wax on it. Hopefully no one cares that I'm doing this. I've never seen anybody parked in this parking lot, so this might be my new spot. Get this thing juiced up. That is a lot of lacquer. That is pretty dang good. And we're gonna leave that to dry. And we're gonna skate some flat ground. We got a lot of drip marks here. I'm trying to think how a non-skater would think, so maybe it'll just draw less attention if I kind of coat the whole thing. And I put my butt in the camera for that entire portion of what I was doing. I'm not gonna lacquer up any other curbs at this moment. I think I might do that before I leave. Time for a bit of flat ground. Now, you may notice either in my last video or what's a part of this video, I was wearing some New Balance shoes, and they hurt. They like legitimately made both my big toes hurt really, really bad. Because I typically don't have problems with any shoes. I've never really bought a pair of shoes and been like, wow, I cannot wear these. And that pair of shoes felt like it was going to cause me injury. Like, they were horrible. This is a warning out there. Don't buy the New Balance Frank Villani, at least the low version. The high version might be different. I hadn't yet thrown away my old Vans, which are completely almost torn to shreds. And it's crazy because now having these like mega broken in Vans that almost feel like a moccasin on my feet feels so good. I mean, I was struggling so much with shove-its over the last couple of weeks, and I think a huge part of it was I couldn't feel the board. All right, let's try 180. One thing that I really want to, now that I've kind of discovered this curb spot and kind of want to wax up a bunch of the curbs and kind of make this spot my own little training ground, I really want to get a lot of my tricks that I'm comfortable with over these curbs. So land a kickflip over the curb, land a heel flip over the curb, land a 180 over the curb. Ah, that was ugly. because it forces me to skate a little bit faster, and it can be a little bit of a mental challenge. And I think it'd be fun to just get comfortable landing a lot of my tricks over curbs like that. That seems like it's drying up fairly quick, that lacquer. It's only been 8 minutes. Oh no, it's super gooey. So this is gonna be flat ground heavy for the first part of this video. Oh, lots of pebbles. I need to come out here with a big broom, big push broom. I do really want to dedicate the time to getting good at curb skating because it's just a little less intense on the body. I'm just not great at it, like slappies and those sorts of things. So I'd really love to learn, you know, just get comfortable with slappy 50-50s. Slappy crook is one that I'd really like to learn. I haven't landed a front shove in forever. Mostly because I haven't tried a front shove in forever. I didn't do a fakie shove yet though, did I? Ah! There is, I'll show you before the end of the video, but there's a curb way over there that's super long, like potentially, I don't know, 50 feet long. And it's kind of a little bit rounded on one side and then flat on the back side. And there's a drop off to the grass. So I could do like a lot of like board slide and then pop out type of stuff. I think if this curb, the lacquer wax situation is successful, I think what I'll likely do is lacquer up a second curb over here and then lacquer that long section before I leave. Fakie shove is one I would love to do over a curb. Like, do you ever have those tricks that seem simple, but you draw them up visually in your head and you're like, oh, that would look good? Like doing a fakie shove over something feels like it would look really cool. That one's not going over anything. That one would have gone over a twig and that's about it. All right, let's pop it. Oh! Ah. Oh! Whatever. That was not popped, but oh my goodness. I'm neglecting some basic tricks. Fakie ollies, nollies, and such. That was a good fakie ollie. Ah! That was not a good fakie ollie. Or if you're new to the channel, if this is the first video you've watched, first off, welcome. I'm a very average skater, but kind of the whole purpose of my channel is highlighting that it's okay to just be okay at skateboarding. There's you know, certain video channels that just really focus on like, am I progressing enough? You got to make sure that you're pushing really hard and things like that. And I just kind of want to buck that trend a little bit and make a channel, make videos that are focused on us average skaters and the fact that it's okay if, you know, we struggle with some basic tricks. I typically leave in all my mistakes so that when you watch my video, I want you to get just a real glimpse of what my sessions are like. I don't want you to watch these videos and me edit out all my mistakes and you get the impression that for me to land that trick was super easy. It's okay to just be okay at skating. You are good enough to have fun skating no matter what level you're at. And now I lost track after talking about that what trick I was on. So we did a fakie ollie. Let's do one more nice fakie ollie. A lot of times I try to land 3 of my basic tricks for a warm-up. You know, it'd be a good practice, and I'm not going to do it right this moment, but visualizing these white lines for these parking spots and try to get my ollie from every stance over the line. This is fakie. What am I doing? I thought in my mind I was about to do nollie, but then I did fakie. This time we're doing nollie. Ooh, and that was a good nollie. And slide that back foot back with some speed. Ah, we'll take it. There's a lot going on in this video. We got the curb waxing. We got me warming up and testing flat ground, me on new shoes. And then I'm also testing these Bronson Raws. And this spot has a lot of gravel around, some sand and stuff like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see when that debris gets in these bearings. Does it do what it's supposed to do, which is just push the debris out? Oh, okay, that was significantly better than some of the switch I've been skating. Oh, I'm kind of happy with that switch ollie. I mean, I'm not like leveling that out or anything, but that felt pretty good. All right, baby switch ollie, but we're taking it. All right, I'm gonna take you on a little trip around this place, and let me show you why I think this is gonna be like a really fun skate spot and a fun place for me to skate. First off, we got this curb I've been waxing. I do think at some point I'll be able to wax more of these curbs. I might bring a grinder out here and grind the top little steel rebar, I guess it is, that pokes out of some of these. I should go in with this with a shovel and get all that dirt and leaves and things like that. If I lacquered this entire thing, this would be really cool to do 50/50s on. It is really rounded, which is a super common curb design here where I live in North Carolina. And one of the things that excited me about this curb spot, excuse me, is that all these curbs have a really sharp kind of top, so they'd be really nice to lock in on. Here's the other thing that excites me. But look at this. We have this really big drop off on the other side of this curb. So I could wax this entire thing, and it would be quite a process, you know, to rub brick and wax this whole thing. But if I did that, this would be great for practicing curb stuff where you have to kind of pop back over the curb. If you can imagine, it'll be like a little curb training ground. Pretty sick. And this is looking almost dry. There are some spots where it's really puddled up that are not quite dry, so I might scrape off some of the excess lacquer. I did this one. I did have like a thin layer of wax already on here. Hopefully that doesn't totally mess up the drying process and the lacquer. But I figured it was such a thin layer of wax that it might kind of soak through. This would also be a cool spot for if I did invest in my own flat bar that I just kept in my car at all times. So I could set up a flat bar, do a little board slide, then do a curb trick, and we could get some lines that way. I think my goal for right now is, with this new curb skating training ground, I'm going to essentially, every time I come skate, just prep a new curb, prep a new obstacle. So I prepped that one today. It's gonna dry out, and I might get a slappy or two today before I leave, but I might not really get to skate it very much today. But next time I come skate, it will be 100% dry and ready to go, right? So each time that I come skate, I'll make one new obstacle, one new curb section. So next time I'll be able to skate that curb. Then the third time I come skate, I will have two curbs to skate, and it'll just build and build and build. Oh, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Oh, that felt good. Two in a row heel flips. 3 in a row. Ah! Heely flippy. Ah! Heel flip is for sure one of the tricks that I feel like I could eventually land over a curb, but the fear factor involved with that is insane. Let me know if you can relate to that, like just doing a trick even if it's a trick that doesn't scare you that much, just adding the slight difference of doing it over a curb just adds to the anxiety in the trick. Ah! I had 2 in a row. I know how to do these dang heel flips. Come on. Oh my gosh. Everything felt incorrect about that. Ah! 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 Come on. Come on. Right here. I got it on this one. No stress. I don't know if my toe touched. I'm going to take that for now. And I have about 45 more minutes to skate. So I'm going to give it 15 minutes. And if the curb feels like completely solid to the touch, then I might wax it up and skate it for the last 30 minutes. I will say, what was I going to say? Oh, I know what I was going to say. I will say it's like definitely colder than it has been. It's more in the 50s Fahrenheit. So it's in the 50s Fahrenheit. So that means that curb is probably the lacquer. Sorry. That means the lacquer is probably going to dry a little bit slower since it's a little bit cooler outside than it has been recently. Okay. Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna land right here. The prettiest kickflip ever seen on YouTube. I'm gonna adjust my feet position. Do you ever get ready to try a trick and set up for a trick, and you sit there and think, ooh, if I just make this one tiny change, I bet this is gonna look so gorgeous. I do that sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna land this for sure. Not a pretty kickflip. Oh yeah, see there? So basically what I'm doing is moving my foot back just a tiny bit and then a little more on the board, hanging off a little less. And I think it grabs the grip tape a little more and levels the board out just a little bit better. Slow flick, but we landed it. Ah! I just feel like I can skate so much better with this shoe where I can feel the board. Maybe it's placebo effect. One more kickflip, please. Then we can do some other more interesting stuff. Oh, I was leaning so far backwards. What in the world? Why am I leaning back so much? There we go. Kickflip, first try, no warm-ups. Except for that was like an hour of warming up. Curb check. We are still liquidous on many spots. There are spots that are dry, but there are also spots that are a little juicy. Dang, I don't think we're gonna be able to skate this today. So let's practice ollieing over curbs. See if we can just practice some of those like rolling faster, learning flat ground tricks that way. The remainder of the session, since our special lacquered curb ain't gonna be ready today, I am gonna just practice doing stuff over the curb. I mean, it'd be cool if I could get something that's not an ollie over the curb. Would be really cool. I mean, that's pretty cozy. This way there is a tiny bit of a bump right before the curb, but it doesn't seem to affect me. Famous last words. Oh, it did affect me. Oh. Oh yeah. I'm going to attempt. I don't know if I can quite do it. The length of this gap is exactly almost the length of my board. Go over the gap. So faster, but still a smooth ollie. We got the front wheels past it, but definitely not the back wheels. I feel like this is something I don't do enough. And it's such a good skill builder, which is just skating faster, getting more comfortable. Ooh, like imagine how sick it'd be if I could do a heel flip or a kick flip at that speed. And theoretically, it shouldn't be that much more different. Oh, but trust me, it is quite different. Uh, oh, I mean, maybe I could push it and get it, but I don't know. Those ollies felt good though. Should we try some pop shoves?
All right, so this ended up being kind of hilarious. I finished up my recording, got home, was watching my videos, and yeah, realized that I had filmed the entire last 5 minutes in slow motion. So 5 minutes of video or so ended up being uh, over an hour long. So I'm not going to show you that whole hour, obviously, but I am going to show you just a couple clips and talk about what I was doing. And it's kind of fun to watch it in like mega slow motion, anyways. So I was testing out doing stuff over curbs. So I was riding really, really fast there, trying to get comfortable. Yeah, you can tell, obviously, I'm riding really fast, right? Um, but trying to get comfortable doing ollies at speed over the curb. And then I wanted to test, okay, how do I, or can I get a trick over a curb? So what I started doing was just trying to do tricks over this white line of the parking lot, doing pop shove-its and trying to feel out how far I was getting over the white line and if that would translate to me being able to get over the curb. I tried 180s as well because it didn't seem like my shove it was popping high enough. The 180s also seemed to be pretty low, and I couldn't really get too much distance on them. I felt like I would probably clip the curb on these as well. I'm not putting all of my attempts in here like I normally do. But then I tried heel flips, and heel flips are a trick I tend to pop higher than any other trick. I don't exactly know why that is, but just something about the movement of a heel flip gets really high up there for me. So that's probably the trick I'm most likely to be able to get over a curb. But doing a heel flip at a high rate of speed is a challenge for me. I typically land them while rolling not that fast. So you didn't get to see the end of that, but I do want to also say here at the end, my next video is going to be and a video I'm super, super excited for. Typically, I release a video every week. This one is a couple days late, and then the next one's also probably going to be a few days late as well. So just be aware of that. And then here's the slow motion. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. But keep an eye out for that video coming up soon. It's going to be really, really fun to watch, and I really hope y'all enjoy that. Yeah.